The bloopers are the best. The bloopers are what makes the podcast.
Beep.
What up,
Beep.
guys? What up, guys? It's Wifey.
Pisto.
And this is Platinum Charm Podcast.
Today we are recapping NBA All-Star Weekend 2024. Let's start with Friday, Celebrity Game. My thoughts are pretty much the same as before. I was pretty excited about the coaches.
Yeah.
And averagely excited about the contestants this year. Thought
Sure.
it was an average roster for me.
Yeah. Saturday was pretty fun. Saturday's always pretty fun.
Skills challenge was okay. I would like to see them go back to a one-on-one type of a contest instead of this team relay type of a contest. Because I think back in the days when it was like Steve Nash, Jason Kidd, Chris Paul, all these guys were going at it one-on-one in these contests. And that was a little bit more fun for me. So I'd like to see them go back to a 1-versus-1 singles type competition instead of teams.
I did like that towards the end of the skills, there was a lot of like creativity of like grabbing multiple balls and like just really going for it. And it's fun. It's a fun time. Like make it fun and make it like exciting.
Agreed. Next up after that was a 3-point contest, which was really good. Honestly, it's probably been the best event. One of the highlights, I should say, over the past few years. Mm-hmm. Damian Lillard won that, scoring 26. Yeah. He was awesome.
He's awesome.
The contest is a blast to watch.
It is really fun, but really, truly, all of the contestants were great to watch.
True.
I'm still kind of curious about the money ball. Is that what it's called?
Oh, it was a starry ball.
A starry ball.
And it was a greenish ball, and everyone was struggling with it. And we couldn't tell if the ball was different or not, because I wouldn't think that just a color would throw them off. But everyone was struggling with the starry ball.
Texture, weight.
Yeah, they must have done something a little bit different with it. But it was still cool.
Yeah.
I would like to see a suggestion from me for the future for the 3-point contest. I would like to see more contestants, and I would like to see a qualifying round, which is like a 15 to 30 second round, and let them shoot from their hot spot or something like this and make them qualify right there on the spot to get into the competition. I think that'd be really fun to see. Fun. Yeah. Instead of just being like 6 to 10, have like maybe 15 guys show up and they have to place.
Yeah. Or, playing knockout or pig or something like that on a 3-point contest. I mean, free throws are also pretty great, but these guys are girls, which, I mean, we've got some more girl stuff coming up in a minute, but there is a lot of room for just fun and playfulness in that area.
And showcasing some talent.
Yeah.
Yeah. So 3-point contest, I was happy with it. And we usually are very happy. Yeah, usually very, very happy with that. Next up was Steph versus Sabrina. Super awesome contest.
Awesome.
Super fun to watch. I think it lasted about 5 minutes was what the actual runtime was. But shout out to Sabrina. She said, I'm shooting from the NBA line. She came out there and she put up 26. She tied the guys that won. And she's a boss. And
she is a boss.
I have to say, I really respect her for being the only female participating in All-Star Saturday Night, having all eyes on her, challenging Steph Curry, and really stepping up and showing up with a ton of pressure on her. That is no joke. And shout out to her. She was awesome.
Absolutely.
She was awesome.
Like, you boss up, girl. You boss up.
Love
and
it.
it was so fun.
Love it.
That point of competition, that's kind of what we both are like, that is what is missing. That's what, like, that adrenaline, that like, oh my gosh, like, who's going to win? What's going to happen? Like, make it a fun time. It's already a big deal. You have a big following. Utilize that platform to do something really fun and engaging.
Yep. 5 minutes. And it was probably what I was looking forward to the most.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. And then Steph Curry comes in and puts on a show like always. Magic Steph.
Yeah.
That boy's something else. Scores a 29.
Yeah.
And it was awesome. They're already talking about doing a rematch next year and having a partner. So Steph and an NBA player versus Sabrina and a WNBA player. Love it. Run with it. Love it.
I think it would be crazy for Steph in Dame Time
Oh, I
to
love
tag
that.
us.
Yes, please,
Um,
please do that.
but that will be very
Please
embarrassing
do that.
if Sabrina brings a girl and they both whip up on those two
You know what? You
boys.
make a good point, and you have to give a shout out to Steph Curry on this because he took a major risk. And no disrespect to Sabrina, but if he lost
He had a lot to
to
lose.
anyone in the WNBA, and I'm not being disrespectful, that would be, he'd hear about it for a while,
Yeah.
especially being as big of a star and 3-point kind of legend,
He is.
legend as he is. He put it all on the line and went out there and put on a show, and that's what we need in the All-Star game. In the All-Star weekend, people need to stop being so afraid of their reputation and go and put on a show for your fans.
And have
Please.
fun.
Yes, make it exciting. They made it so much fun.
Yeah.
5 minutes. That's all it was.
Yeah.
And it was fun.
It was probably
playful, competitive, awesome.
And I think Saturday night has a bigger maybe a bigger following. If I had the option to go to Saturday or Sunday, I would go to Saturday. The Sunday game, which we'll get back to it, the Sunday game is fun, but I just think Saturday is so entertaining. But I wish that, these hidden gems would come out of the woodwork and just really show themselves. Like, what are some of these talents? What are some of we were all probably really weird kids at some point and did weird games and created weird games. And most of these players have played basketball their entire life.
Yeah.
So you can't tell me there's little drills or there's little fun things that they did whenever they were younger, or they aren't doing with their kids or doing with outreach that could just be so fun and engaging to just be entertaining.
Yeah, agreed. 100% agreed. Love the event. Loved it. And I'm already excited for next year.
Yeah.
Love it. So thank you, Steph and Sabrina. And once again, major respect to both players for her doing what she did representing the WNBA and
Absolutely.
putting a challenge out there and taking it on and just in front of all these people just doing her thing. And shout out to Steph for rising to the occasion and putting his reputation on the line and not even worrying about it. Just going out there and having fun.
And showing up.
Love it. They both showed up.
Yeah. And
Love
she
it.
shot from an area that she's not super comfortable with, but she's an athlete. You can just see it. She's an athlete.
She wanted to take away all excuses, and she put on a show.
She put on a show.
Did. Moving on to the slam dunk contest, Jaylen Brown, Mac McClung in the finals. How do you feel Jaylen Brown did?
I thought he did great. I think the expectations were pretty low going in. Maybe not low, but really just uncertain. He's going up against somebody that is just very unique. So outside of, it just being normal dunking, he did wonderful.
But if he had won the contest with the dunks that he did, would you have been happy? Would you have been impressed? Would you have felt like the grand finale delivered?
If Mac wasn't there, yeah.
You would have?
Sure.
No, I
thought that he's not known as a dunker. His thing is not dunking or doing really showy dunking.
I have to respectfully disagree. I think that if he had won the dunk contest with that showing, it would have been a very disappointing dunk contest. And this is coming from someone who loves dunks and has followed the dunk contest for a really long time. So shout out to Mac McClung, though. That boy's a superstar, and I want to get into this. Why is Mac McClung not in the NBA? And after watching the dunk contest, I did a little bit of research, and I tried to find out why he's not in the NBA, because he is in your development league.
Yeah.
And 2 years in a row, he is the star of your grand finale event of your weekend, but yet he's not in the NBA.
And he's making up his own unique dunks that nobody's seen.
Yeah. Let's be honest. There's 2 levels of dunking. You have the NBA and you have the dunk league boys. Yeah. And he could probably, I would not say he would beat the dunk league boys, but he can hang with the dunk league boys. Yeah. The NBA guys cannot. So, and that's why he looks so impressive, is because he dunks like a dunk league player and not necessarily an NBA player.
It's fair.
So, but I did some research as to why he's not in the NBA, because he's bouncing through all these teams, all these development teams. He has a little bit of a showing with the Lakers, a little bit of a showing with the Sixers, but yet not in the NBA.
Mm-mm.
One thing I came across was his size saying that he would struggle on defense. My rebuttal to that is we're not in a defensive league right now. We
No
had
chance.
200 points in the All-Star game. It's not abnormal to get 130 points in a normal game. Back in the 90s, 100 points was a big deal. So I don't take that as a legit point. This is not a
No.
defensive league.
And I think that's why basketball can be a little bit, nice way to put it, a little bit boring, because
Shootout.
it's just kind of trot down, not really be aggressive. Like, I mean, occasionally, but like the fun in basketball usually doesn't start until the last like 5, 7 minutes of the game. And if the game's close, if it's not close, or the other team doesn't want it, the down team doesn't want it, it's just not going to happen. And
Or the playoffs when it matters.
It can be boring.
Yeah, I agree.
It's not engaging.
I agree. 100%. Here's some interesting stats that I found and some interesting like information on Mac McClung. So I think the kid is a star, by the way. And I think for him to come from a development league, be the star of your grand finale event on Saturday night 2 years in a row with all the stars looking at you
Videotaping
and
you.
showing out, the kid is a superstar. And he's not getting treated like a superstar by the NBA. So Mac McClung was among the highest ranked high school players in Virginia. He was ranked among the highest ones. He's a 2-time slam dunk contest winner, which is just one away from the record of 3 held by Nate Robinson. So he could potentially tie the record next year if he wants to come back. It sounds like he's uncertain, though, from interviews after this dunk contest. He averaged 23.7 points per game last season in the G League. That's good numbers. The dude can score. The dude can score. He turned down $1 million deals from teams in Turkey and China to stay in the United States. They were offering him millions of dollars to come over there and play because they can see that he's a
talented.
superstar and he's talented. And the dude tries. I can see his effort.
Yeah.
And I like the guy. I'm a fan. I like him. So he's 6'2", 185 pounds, right? People are saying size isn't a factor, potentially. Trae Young, 6'1", 164 pounds. So he is bigger than Trae.
Yeah.
Dame Lillard, 6'2", 194 pounds. So Dame has about 9 pounds of weight on Mac, but they're the same height. So I'm not taking this size, height, wingspan thing as a factor. Yeah. It's not a factor. There's something else happening.
Yeah.
So he won the 2021-2022 G League Rookie of the Year award, and he won a championship with the Delaware Blue Coats, which is I can't remember if that's a G League team or if that is a college team. You have to excuse me on that, but he's a champion. He won the championship. And in an NBA game, playing for the Sixers against the Nets, he put up 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 9 assists in 33 minutes. So he can play in the NBA. He can score. The dude's a baller. The dude is a baller, and I'm not sure why no one's giving him a chance. And if you give him a chance, I'm sorry, if you give him a chance, you cannot tell me he's the worst player in the NBA.
No.
You can't tell me that.
I was actually just about to say that.
You can't tell me
There's
that.
like some people that are actively playing and depending on the team, potentially starters for certain teams. And
why do people like Ja Morant?
Because he can hop.
He's electrifying. He can hop. He's fun to watch. He's fast. They don't like him because of he can drama. Shoot or not, or his drama or not. The dude can hop.
Yeah,
he's fun to watch, and so can Max. Someone give this kid a chance because he will sell tickets, and he's a superstar.
He kind of softly, like his approach and the way that he just really handles the ball reminds me of Luka. The way that he just aggressively attacks the basket, he attacks it with confidence. Like he doesn't, you could kind of see some of the shyness of some people sometimes. Maybe I haven't really watched him play, but just the way that he approaches the basket and his dunking, he's going for it. He's not holding back.
I remember after last year's dunk contest, I said, this kid's going to get a deal. And he didn't get a deal. He got a couple little tries, got kind of bounced around, and he seems like a decent kid when he's talking on the mic. He doesn't sound like he has an attitude.
Do you think he has an attitude, though?
I don't think he has an attitude.
Okay.
Who knows, really?
It's fair.
But it's interesting to me The dude's a baller and the dude's a superstar. And I think that he could sell some tickets. I think that people would like to see Mac.
Absolutely.
Another fun thought that I have for improving the All-Star is these guys that win these competitions need to get a little badge on their jerseys that says Slam Dunk Champion, 24 Slam Dunk Champion. He gets the only person that gets to rock that for a year, right? Dame gets to have 3-point champion on his jerseys for a year. Like, give these guys some bling. Like, make it a little bit like, hey.
I don't know why it has such a, like, it could be such a fun, like, inviting time. We wanted to go last year. The tickets were just a little bit more expensive than what we kind of wanted to watch or wanted to wanted to pay simply because we didn't know what we were going to get. If we would have known, the stability of the Super Bowl or even some of the playoff games, that you're going to get a good show. You know that you pay all of that money and you're going to feel like it's worth it. But we weren't sure about the gamble because the previous couple years, it's just not been a great show. And the tickets are a little bit expensive. So it's kind of sad. I don't know what the answer is.
Needs a little bit of rebranding, a little bit of attention, some creativity. Let's move on to Sunday real quick. I know you weren't able to see a ton of it. The intros this year were a little bit disappointing. Usually it's a big stage, it's a big thing. They're coming up out of the floor. Usually there's a rapper out there doing something. And this year it was just kind of a standard game introduction that was a little bit disappointing for me. Oh. I love the intros. I look forward to the intros. These intros were disappointing.
We forgot something from Saturday.
What?
The LED floor.
We'll get to that in just a sec.
Oh, okay.
Sit tight. Game started off pretty fun, actually. I thought the game started off decent. Dame Lillard was going crazy. Steph Curry was going crazy. Halliburton was doing some stuff. It was pretty fun. Yeah. Kind of phased out towards the end. Kind of turned into just normal all-star playground-ness. Jennifer Hudson on the halftime show, she did one song. She sounded great. Her performance was great. The show was great. I just don't think it's the right fit. If I'm being 100% honest, she's very Broadway with her presentation, and her sound is very Broadway, and it's very talented. But it's not the. Let's be honest. You go to a jazz game, you're hearing hip hop tunes. You're hearing poppy, hip hoppy, this kind of tunes. You're not hearing Broadway
church music,
soulful type stuff. And I'm not dissing, I'm just saying. So I didn't think it was the right fit, even though she did a good job.
Yeah, she's a very talented singer and a very talented artist. But it's a little more fit for maybe tennis.
Not sports.
Not basketball.
Not sports. Sorry.
Yeah.
And especially with Usher at the Super Bowl, this is kind of your follow-up. This is kind of your answer. And I'm not pitting them against each other, but this is kind of your turn. And it was just a little bit disappointing for me.
It's kind of a food for thought to think of all of the famous rappers and R&B singers and pop and all of these people that go to watch these games. They're already going, but they're not performing. But the people that go and watch are the vibe of the NBA. So why, like even Justin Bieber, why is Justin Bieber, who will go and sit and watch a lot of these games, why is he not like doing a performance? Or
I wouldn't count him out of an upcoming Super Bowl, folks. I would not count him out.
I could agree.
Usher called him for this Super Bowl, and they didn't work it out. But Usher said, I wouldn't count him out for an upcoming Super Bowl halftime performance. And we didn't think of Bieber.
Well, Bieber's kind of been he's wonderful.
Can he perform?
Oh my gosh.
Can he dance?
Yes, he can.
I don't know. I've never watched him like that.
Usher actually
I know it's his protege. It's his protege.
A long time. So yes, he can.
Can he dance like an Usher and a Chris Brown?
Justin kind of has like a little bit more of like a smooth like whenever Usher was singing, I think it was Let It Burn, and he was doing his like kind of moonwalk looking thing. I don't know exactly what that's called. That's more of JB's style. He's not really into like the grinding and like all of that, but just like some of the showy stuff, not the the sexual stuff.
Usher's the king. So, final thoughts on the weekend.
It was much improved from the last few years. I did think that last year maybe wasn't as bad as like, I think my expectations were kind of low, but last year was actually pretty good. And I think this year actually beats last year.
For me, big takeaways were 3-point contest was awesome, which
Yeah.
that's probably the most consistent event right now is a 3-point contest.
Mm-hmm.
I thought Mac McClung put on a show, and the kid is a superstar. Give him a deal. Somebody give him a deal. Take a chance on that boy. He deserves it. And the LED floor was amazing.
It was crazy.
Amazing, amazing, amazing.
Yeah.
Shout out to whoever came up with that idea, implemented that. It was a blast to watch.
Did the
and
programming? I don't want your
crispy.
job. Whoever you are that is like putting all of these details together, you go for it. I think that you probably have Christmas lights that are super crazy on your house at Christmas that everybody goes and sits and drinks hot cocoa out of for hours.
Floor was crispy.
It was crazy.
Crispy. Loved it. Loved it. That was awesome. And Dame Lillard got MVP, and he played awesome.
It.
Yeah, he got some really, really cool shots, and it was pretty cool.
He's fun to watch.
She is fun to watch. Steph versus Sabrina. Awesome. Yeah. See, it's something new, and it's not even something big.
No.
It's just something new, and it's exciting.
I think even if, you know, there were to be a little bit more involvement in the crowd, a little bit of like, hey, guys, like the way that you could paint something completely different and people will respond completely differently. So I like you said, I think it just needs like a little bit of like tuning.
Yeah. Super quick because we're going to wrap this up. I think that players should have to qualify for the events before the All-Star weekend. So as they're playing the first half of the season, you got to hit X amount of dunks in a game to even qualify for the dunk contest.
Yeah.
For the skills challenge, you got to hit, whatever stat you want. For 3-pointers, you got to hit X amount of threes. And then I think that they come to the event, they do like a little pre-qualifying round, right? And then they enter into the event.
Do you think they get paid? Do you think they get
I
paid
think
a little bit?
Mac got $100,000 for winning the dunk contest.
Oh.
Yeah. And then I'd like to see one-on-one in the skills challenge, singles tournament, not team tournament. That's more fun for me. Bring back the whole Hall of Famer, current NBA, WNBA challenge. That was awesome. Add some kind of a pig type, fun trick shot type challenge and get some bigger names in that dunk contest, man. And hype this thing up and get some. You need performances on Saturday.
Yeah.
You need performances on Saturday, not only Sunday. We need performances on Saturday.
Yeah.
Knock it out of the park.
But do you remember that video that we watched that had Giannis and some other NBA players on it that they were trying to guess?
Even a game like that would be hilarious.
Which person, this incognito person, who was actually an NBA player. It's almost like Masked Singer, but having, some Hall of Famers, having some current players, having some newly retired players that kind of put that together, and then just have some people out of the stands that'll keep their mouths shut and just come out and make it a really good time. And have it be fun. I think it would be a blast.
I like that idea. Guys, we're going to let you go on this one. Let us know what your thoughts were of this past All-Star. How do you rank it against previous All-Star weekends? And what do you think that they could do to improve moving forward? Are you happy with it how it is? Do you want to see some improvement? This is just our thoughts.
Yeah.
Let us know what you think. We'll see you on the next one.
Peace.
Peace.